Chapter 1. Dreams, Newspapers, and Newspapermen. Rubbing his eyes and clearing them of crusty mucus formed by drainage from his sinus cavities, Clay focuses towards the clock radio on the nightstand. It's 5:30 a.m. It seems mere minutes ago he woke from the first dream. The ragweed must be out in full force today, Clay said out loud, diverting his thoughts from the third dream of the night. He removes the yellowish substance from his eyelids. Middle Georgia is known for its ragweed. This allergen appears around Labor Day and intensifies Clay's miseries as late summer gives way to early autumn. In 20 minutes, the alarm will sound. Clay will hear the nondescript voice of the local weatherman. He hates awakening to the sound of the alarm. He has a penchant for stepping between time and space, a maneuver designed to change the outcome of an event, just like awakening from a nightmare before being struck by a sniper's bullet. Clay doesn't enjoy being told what to do. He gets a kick out of seeing his feet on the floor before Jerry Powell, the aging weatherman at radio station WAZM, delivers his weather announcement. It's time to get up. Clay does not need an alarm clock to tell him when it's time to get up. The alarm is a crutch. I'm not a cripple, Clay was fond of saying. Far from it. He is independent by nature. Clay relies upon his internal alarm clock. His body instinctively knows when it's time to get back to the business of another day, the business of publishing a newspaper. One of the job's most solemn requirements is protecting the public's rights to know the state of affairs of local government. As the managing editor, protecting the public interest falls directly upon Clay's shoulders, quite by accident. Solely by virtue of his job, Clay has become the protector of the Constitution for the local folks. It is a role he takes seriously. The Macon Tribune and Journal, the MTJ, is a newspaper he enjoys delivering to the public each morning. Clay rolls over and yawns, delaying his departure from bed another few minutes. Gotta get moving, he mumbles. Rudy Watkins, without fail, will be by at 6 a.m. The two of them will run 3 miles on the golf course in their neighborhood. 6.5 months ago in March, Rudy came up with this idea. It seems much of what Clay does in his off time is a Rudy-induced idea. Indeed, much of what Clay does during his time at work is evoked from the deep recesses of Rudy's mind. And Rudy can pull an idea from way back in his mind. At least, one would think the idea came from the back end of his mind, because so many of his ideas came out of, as they say, nowhere. Rudy is verbose. His verbosity has a way, a manner, if you will, of suggesting something in such a matter-of-fact fashion, Clay just can't refuse going along with him. The early morning jogs are no exception. Clay had no choice, or at least he thought he didn't have any choice, but to jog with Rudy. What a swell way for two newspapermen and River North Country Club neighbors to bond, Rudy says. Bonding with Rudy isn't Clay's idea either. After all, Rudy is the editor of the newspaper, and Clay works under him as the paper's managing editor. But bond they do. The two are inseparable. They share lunch and dinner time together in addition to the time spent on their early morning jogs. The newspapermen talk incessantly about issues that don't have any relation to the job each is called upon to perform for the MTJ by J. Edgar Scott, the patriarch in charge of the family-owned newspaper. Both men owe their good fortunes for calling River North Country Club home to their mutual friend on the federal court, Judge Filbert O's.